Urgent Steelers fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest your team news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Longtime best friend reveals why Aaron Rodgers is waiting to sign with Pittsburgh Steelers. Why has Aaron Rodgers continued to wait on signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers? There might not be someone that knows the cause as much as Rodgers' longtime best friend in football, Davante Adams. Adams talked to Mike Silver and said Rodgers is waiting for a team to roll out the red carpet for him, and he is not sure the Steelers have done that. I think Aaron wants someone to roll out the red carpet for him, Silver said during an episode of the Scoop City podcast with Diana Rossini and Chase Daniel. That is what he is looking for. I'm not sure if he would consider the Steelers doing that right now. I'm not positive how Aaron perceives that or how the Steelers perceive that. The Vikings clearly aren't. For now, the Steelers will wait on Rodgers, but they have continued to express confidence in Mason Rudolph. They can also look to the NFL draft, which will occur on Thursday. Rodgers gave no timetable for a decision, and the Steelers still have not set a deadline for Rodgers, although head coach Mike Tomlin, who has spoken to Rodgers regularly, indicated that a deadline might be the start of training camp. Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show last Thursday he needed time before he could commit to a team due to personal issues in his inner circle. He added he has communicated that with all teams pursuing him and understands if they have to move on. For the Steelers, the four-time MVP remains the best quarterback available on the market after they whiffed on others earlier this offseason, but it remains to be seen how much Rodgers actually wants to play for then. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest, the black and gold news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Kirk Cousins should find a way to the Steelers. Kirk Cousins should find a way to join the Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that has more questions than answers at the moment. Pittsburgh seems to be stuck in a cycle of perpetual mediocrity, as its drought of playoff wins rapidly approaches a decade. At the moment, with the NFL draft only 2 days away, the Steelers still don't know if they'll need to draft a starting quarterback or if veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers will retire or sign with the Steel City. The Steelers aren't the only party in the NFL that doesn't know exactly what the future holds. Veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins has found himself in an awkward situation of commanding an impressive salary while being relegated to the bench. Still, as nice as the checks are, Cousins undoubtedly wants to star, and that ship has sailed with the Atlanta Falcons as the organization has moved forward with the younger Michael Penix Jr., whom they drafted shortly after signing Cousins last offseason. Conveniently, the Steelers and Cousins could be the answer for each other. The Steelers would be able to move forward with a veteran quarterback rather than making a panicked draft pick in a quarterback class that is widely regarded as one of the weaker at the position in recent memory. The organization also would be able to operate without the media frenzy that always comes with Aaron Rodgers. For Cousins, he would have the opportunity to be the starter again in a stable organization that is almost guaranteed to be jockeying for a playoff position under head coach Mike Tomlin. If the Steelers and Falcons are willing to work together on draft night and get creative by including a third team in a trade, Cousins in the Steel City could be a reality very soon. Steelers will forget about Aaron Rodgers if NFL draft whispers are true. Maybe the Steelers can land a high-profile QB after all. The Pittsburgh Steelers' desperate search for a quarterback has been a lingering storyline since the close of the 2024 NFL season. While speculation around future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers sparked hope among fans this offseason, no deal materialized following a 6-hour free agent meeting in March. The lack of clarity surrounding Rodgers' 2025 plans has left the Steelers in quarterback limbo. This could soon change, especially if the latest rumors about Shedeur Sanders' draft stock prove true. The Steelers have lacked a reliable gunslinger since Ben Roethlisberger's retirement, and last season's inconsistent quarterback play only amplified the urgency to find a long-term solution. Rodgers appeared to be the most high-profile option available, and the franchise's willingness to meet with him reflected their desire to explore all avenues. Still, the uncertainty of his health, age, and commitment made a potential partnership too risky. As Rodgers continues to leave the football world guessing, Pittsburgh's front office may be gifted an unexpected opportunity, one that could define their next decade. That opportunity comes in the form of Shedeur Sanders. The former Colorado standout ended his collegiate career with an impressive 7,364 passing yards and 64 touchdowns. He also demonstrated poise, accuracy, and elite football IQ. Sanders' combination of pedigree and production has made him one of the few high-profile quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL draft class. However, there's growing buzz that Sanders may fall further than initially projected. Shedeur Sanders' falling draft stock is perfect news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The New Orleans Saints, picking at number 9 overall, were widely considered Sanders' most likely landing spot, especially after Derek Carr's shoulder injury resurfaced as a concern. But ESPN's Adam Schefter recently reported that the Saints may be leaning in a different direction. "I don't think New Orleans is taking Shedeur," Schefter stated. "They are hot and heavy on Jackson Dart." If true, this development could dramatically alter the quarterback landscape on draft night. Pittsburgh, selecting 12 picks after New Orleans, would instantly become one of the biggest winners of the draft if Sanders slips past the top 10. With limited proven options at quarterback and an aging defense still capable of competing, landing, Sanders would not only address a critical need, it would reinvigorate the franchise. While Rodgers' name still commands attention, his delayed decision-making only adds to the frustration. The Steelers can't afford to sit and wait when a young, talented quarterback might fall into their lap. Shedeur Sanders represents more than just a draft pick. He symbolizes a fresh start, a cornerstone, and a commitment to the future. If the rumors are true and Sanders is still on the board when Pittsburgh is on the clock, the speculation about Rodgers will become an afterthought. The Steelers won't need to borrow time from an aging legend, they'll have their own. ESPN NFL analyst details why AFC team could pick Jaylen Milroe as first round of NFL draft. ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky sees a scenario where the Pittsburgh Steelers take Jaylen Milroe in the first round of the 2025 NFL draft. Milroe continues to be one of the more intriguing prospects in this year's draft. His draft stock has also continued to rise as of late. Orlovsky feels the Steelers drafting Milroe at number 21 is something to consider. "I'm more intrigued with the Steelers and Jaylen Milroe than I was 2 or 3 weeks ago," Orlovsky said. "I would start with this. I don't think that there's a team in the NFL that is in a worse situation when it comes to the quarterback position than the Pittsburgh Steelers. The reason I say Milroe, a couple things. Number 1, the likelihood that he'll be there at 21. Number 2, the receivers on the perimeter, both George Pickens and DK Metcalf. Could you imagine a quarterback with the ability to push the ball downfield like Milroe? And then the rare athletic ability that we're watching. He is not perfect. He is flawed. There's no doubt about it. No quarterback had more explosive runs downfield than Jaylen Milroe last year. And this is a team, an organization that has had to watch at least twice a year and go, gosh, we got to play that guy, Lamar Jackson again. We got to play Lamar Jackson again. Milroe will attend the draft in person on Thursday, April 24th. Get the best Alabama football insider information, message board access, and recruiting coverage today. Sign up here to unlock our subscriber-only content. Justin Smith is the director of recruiting for Touchdown Alabama magazine. You can follow him on Twitter via JDSmith31. SmithCam Heyward almost became a Raven in 2011 draft. They ended up passing. The 2011 NFL draft was loaded with talent, and particularly defensive line talent. We all talk about the 2025 draft as being loaded with DL talent, but there were 12 who went in the first round that year, and Cam Heyward was the last of them at number 31. During today's episode of Not Just Football with Cam Heyward, he revealed a brief list of teams that told him they would draft him if he fell. A couple of them ended up passing, and thank goodness for that. At this point, everybody has who they're drafting, and most of the teams they've made the big boards. They've talked to the teams in front of them. They know who they're selecting, Heyward said before being asked which teams told him. They'd draft him in 2011. Jets, Ravens, I know Green Bay was interested, but they were the pick behind. The Jets were picking at number 30 and took Muhammad Wilkerson. He was a fine player in his own right with 2 second-team All-Pro selections, but he had nowhere near the sustained success of Heyward. The Ravens took CB Jimmy Smith at number 27. He had a few solid seasons mixed in and had a lengthy career overall, having just retired in 2021. Again, he had nowhere near the career of Heyward. Only one of those three players is heading to the Hall of Fame one day, and he ended up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can you imagine a world where Heyward was terrorizing the Steelers for the last 14 seasons instead of being the cornerstone of their defense? The Packers defeated the Steelers in the Super Bowl the year before and thus didn't have access to Heyward. It's very likely he would have been picked with the very next selection had the Steelers not drafted him. You start to wonder, like, man, the people in front of me, are they even doing their homework on these guys? Heyward said. I have a lot of respect for the guys that went in front, but some of them, some head-scratchers. Several of the D-line men who went ahead of Heyward had nice careers, but some of them didn't. Of the 12 who were drafted in the first round, Cameron Jordan, J.J. Watt, and Heyward ended up being in a league of their own. All three are likely to end up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame someday. Heyward warned fans to not read too much into media chatter this close to the draft. If the players are being fed incorrect information as Heyward experienced, then you can only imagine what kind of smokescreens and shell games are making. And now, Steelers fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for the black and gold. I'll be back any moment with more Steeler Nation news. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.